Diary of St. Francis de Sales, August 1st. On this feast day of St. Peter in Chains, may our guardian angel awaken us, offering loving attention to the presence of God and freeing us from all bonds of self-love to dedicate ourselves to divine love. How blessed was St. Peter when the Lord lovingly asked him repeatedly, "Peter, do you love me?" Not because he doubted, but for the delight he experiences when we tell, retell, and declare that we love him. Therefore, we must love or perish, for those who do not love remain in death. Spiritual Letters. The Feast of St. Peter in Chains was of particular devotion to St. Francis de Sales, who regarded it as the most solemn of the Geneva Cathedral. He often preached on this day, and in 1607 wrote to St. Jane de Chantal that he never missed officiating solemnly. He said that the chains of St. Peter, which titled his cathedral, bound his heart when he considered how Providence had allowed his diocese to become the seat of Calvin's heresy, which had ensnared so many souls with the chains of iniquity. In 1603, for the first time on this day, the saint officiated as bishop, and his brother Louis de Sales, surprising him at the kneeler with tearful eyes, wanted to know the cause. His response was, "Alas, I weep for my Church of Geneva, which is among the cords and chains of heresy and sin, and there are no angels to unchain it and open the doors instead. There is a miserable sinner, your brother, who is here to care for this church." Reflection of August 1st. St. Francis de Sales, in his reflection on the Feast of St. Peter in Chains, invites us into a deep and transformative meditation on the themes of love, freedom, and spiritual responsibility. Here's an extensive meditation on the key lessons embedded in his reflection. Love as the path to freedom. St. Francis emphasizes the need to transcend self-love and embrace divine love. True freedom, he suggests, is found not in the pursuit of personal desires, but in the total surrender to God. For St. Peter, his liberation was not only physical, but also deeply spiritual, rooted in his love for Christ. This liberating love is something we are all called to embody, allowing it to dissolve the chains of selfishness and sin that bind us. The poignant question posed to St. Peter, "Do you love me?" serves as a vital reminder that our relationship with God is nourished by continuous reaffirmation of our love for him. St. Francis resonates with the idea that expressing our love for God not only pleases him, but also strengthens and deepens our own faith. This calls us to frequently and sincerely profess our love and commitment to God, recognizing that each declaration revitalizes our spiritual relationship. The solemnity and responsibility of ministry. St. Francis's devotion to the feast day reflects his solemn sense of duty toward the Church and its teachings. His emotional response to the state of his diocese reveals the weight of spiritual responsibility that leaders and followers alike share. It reminds us that caring for the faith community is a sacred trust, one that demands empathy, vigilance, and a readiness to act in service of truth and salvation. The interplay of providence and human action. Acknowledging the role of providence, St. Francis also highlights human agency in God's plans. Despite the trials and challenges faced by the Church, it is through humble and dedicated service, often amidst tears and personal struggles, that God's will is realized. This implies a call for active participation in our faith communities, understanding that our efforts, however small, are instrumental in the divine scheme. Hope amidst spiritual struggles. The lament over the chains of heresy and sin speaks to the enduring struggle against spiritual and moral corruption. Yet, there's an underlying message of hope. Even amidst seemingly insurmountable odds, God's grace is sufficient. we are urged to remain hopeful and proactive in our faith, drawing strength from the certitude that divine assistance, though sometimes subtle or unexpected, will guide and sustain us. In essence, St. Francis de Sales encourages us to cultivate a sincere, abiding love for God, commit to our spiritual responsibilities, and actively engage in the work of faith, trusting in God's enduring providence. Through this reflection, we are called to awaken to a life of love, service, and unyielding hope in the face of trials.